There is no health without mental health. Join Brian Greene for Mental Wealth on 103.2 Dublin City FM each Tuesday at 12:30pm. Your mental health awareness station on 103.2 Dublin City FM with Brian Greene.
103.2 Dublin City FM. It's Mental Wealth with Brian Greene on a Tuesday afternoon, and hope you're having a good Tuesday today. Pieta will be talking with Pieta House about their services for self-harm and suicide. But first of all, I'm in Blanchardstown Shopping Centre, and I'm talking with Shannon McBride and Anthony O'Donnell, and they're two students from Ballyfermot Senior College. And what I want to talk to them about is student life and your mental health. How you doing?
How's things? How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Tell us, is your third year's in college now, and how have you been finding it? Is a lot of pressure being students? Like, comes up to exam time, we're at the kind of the end of the year, and you've got to get assignments in.
It's crazy.
Is it a lot of pressure on you?
Literally, yeah. It's horrible. I'll tell you, last week I was frantically trying to get audio edited for a 15-minute drama, and I still haven't done it. It's 4 days late.
Is this because you're naturally, like me, a disorganised person, or is there just lots of things that are upon you to do?
Yeah. I put everything, I went hellfire at the start of this year, all last year, and then on our first year, and now I can't be bothered. It's trying to get at, and it's just effort is now.
You see, with me, and I was in college over the last 3 years, it was procrastination. It was leaving it to the last minute. It was almost playing chicken with the deadlines.
It's not really leaving it to the last minute. Because we're studying year 2 diplomas in BTEC and it's the higher national diploma, we literally pretty much, it's coming to the end of the year. Everything's getting thrown at us at the same time. We have 3 or 4. We have to edit out a documentary. We have to edit out a drama. We have to have in written work. We have to do that. I was up to the last week. I actually stayed up for 32 hours straight, and I did 2 assignments and edited one area drama in one night. Now that's how crazy it is. The one with Shannon as well. The two of us are off the plot, literally exhausted. Literally, I slept for 2 days after that, and my sleeping pattern, I'm only getting back to it now, back to normal now. It's how bad it is. The pressure really pulls in on you on the last year of the diploma because you have so much.
Is it yourself putting on the pressure, or is it the actual just the amount of work?
I think it's pressure when you realise the content that you have to get done, and I think the coordinators are telling you how much time you have left, and they're telling you then it's due that week, and you're realising, wait a second, I just got one done already, I'm only getting this done now. So it's kind of a mixture of both. It's kind of yourself realising I have to get this done now, and them saying to you that it has to be done that week. So it's kind of a mixture of both. It can really cause the frantic exhaustion and basically just being up all night, and when you're in there the day after, you're trying to keep your eyes open. I remember I was in the college the day after, and I was trying to keep my eyes open. I've been awake for over 28 hours when I went into the college to hand in that assignment. I was exhausted. Shannon seen me, I was literally nearly falling to the ground asleep.
Now, I'm playing devil's advocate. Well, people just might be asking, would you not start a little bit earlier with your assignments?
Yeah, so you do, and then you get another assignment then while you're in the middle of doing one. So trying to get 2 of them done and trying to get a second one started doesn't always work out that well.
Okay, so we've mapped out the pain of what it's like to be so busy and go on.
Try juggle assignments when you have one, when you're basically in the middle of doing that assignment and you're saying, it's grand, I'll get this done. And then you're giving one at the same time, it has to be done, it has to be in 2 days later. You have to put that one priority before the one that you're actually doing at the moment. And when you realise that one is done, then you're going straight back to that one. It's still going to be hectic because you're basically given 2 or 3 days after that to do it. It won't be easy.
What are colleges doing to kind of help you through this? Have they got any advice? Have they got any counselling? Is there any kind of help for the bewildered students I'm listening to here?
There are advice. The coordinators are they're understanding. They give us extensions if they can, and there are people guidance counsellors that we can talk to as well if we have any problems and all that. We feel like we're under pressure that we can't deal with it. We are given advice to go to it, and we can't get it done. But as well as that, the coordinators are really, really helpful and just giving us extensions to basically just relax and take it easy, and just to have the 2 extra days just to get everything under pressure and just get it all in. So they give us the extensions.
Are you finding that yourself?
Yeah, I know when Anto was just mentioning our guidance counsellor in college, we have to give her a shout out, Helen Bradley. She helped myself and Anto a lot in between our level 5, which was MJC, and she's always saying hello to us, and she's always making sure, you know, we're still okay even now. So there is that kind of advice for us there, but also, as Anto said, like our coordinators and our lecturers are second to none really in Ballyfermot, aren't they?
They give us the extra help we need, and we hadn't given a shout out to them. Bernard Evans.
Bernard, well, yeah, I suppose so.
Simon.
Definitely Simon. Simon has to, like, Simon will literally, if he knows you're struggling, he'll give you the extension, and I'll be like, yeah.
Orla and Brian.
The more they say nice things about their lecturers, they think they're going to get better results and marks. But let me get back to how... No, hang on a sec. How do you deal with that pressure? You're talking about like 28-hour runs, 32-hour stints awake. Do you have a coping mechanism for that?
Coffee, Monster.
I was about to say.
Coffee, I suppose that, you know, that we're talking about a stimulant there that's going to, you know, help you stay awake in the short term, but you know you need your sleep. How do you come down off a 32-hour cramming of assignments?
We're kind of lucky, like if we go in one day and we just look pure gone, like the teachers are very, very good in the sense of I won't be too hard with you today, and like we'll like sit there talking about like the soaps or something.
They
So
they
they do
go
have
easy
the
on us.
support there, don't they?
They do help us, and they just help us relax. Some of us even fall asleep in the class after that, and they're like, understanding.
They don't really care. Yeah.
They don't really care. They give us the time because we realised that we've got the content done, so we're not bad on content. So they give us time to relax after that.
Away from college for a second, what do you do to relax and, you know, look after your mental health?
I do a lot of fitness. I'm in a gym out in Blanchardstown, and I train 5 or 6 days a weekend. I find just going in, doing some cardio and some weights, and just being able to just socialise with friends outside the gym, and just being able to go maybe see a film or maybe go play a few games or something like that. I find it more relaxing.
Anthony, how many years have you been going to the gym?
About probably 6 years on off.
I heard on another radio station a story about yourself. You were in an interview and you lost a huge amount of weight. Tell us about that.
At one point I was doing a transformation. I was doing a doctor's appointment, and I was classed as being high blood pressure, morbidly obese, and I was dealing with depression and everything. This one time I was in town and I was walking along the city centre. I ended up nearly falling to the ground, and I was falling asleep, and I didn't realise what it was. So I went to the doctor. She alarmed me that I was high blood pressure due to my weight. She said within a year she didn't see me alive, and after that I knew a transformation had to be done. Within 1 year after the advice that was given to me, I lost 11 stone.
So you went from what to what?
22 stone to 11 stone.
What did that do to your mental health?
My mental health has changed. I used to deal with anxiety, and I went to the doctor regarding anxiety, and she said, listen, I can give you tablets and that will give you whatever. Or she said, it's up to you, basically, I'll give you tablets. And I said, you know what, keep your tablets. I'm going to do something that probably a lot of people don't do but should do. Tablets are a stimulant to help with their anxiety, but if you really want to battle anxiety, the only one that can battle the anxiety is yourself. Take slow steps, take movements, basically go distances each day, and you find that each day you take, the further the distance you go, you find the anxiety will slowly fade away.
When you say distance, you're talking about walk, run, what?
Walk, run, anything. Say leaving your house can be even a hard thing with anxiety. So even leaving your house and going just about even 5 or 10 minutes away, you find that each day you further it and further it and further it, and by the time you get to it, you battle it. You've done it. You've taken the steps you needed to do. You've gone so far that you realise I can always go back if something happens. I know that I don't have that problems anymore, because I literally each day I battled it, and I gave myself more positive thoughts. I battled anxiety, came back, I fought through it and won it. And the doctor said to me, fair play to you. And I said, why? She said, you're the one person that has been able to battle anxiety themselves without medication, which can be long-term medication, and I'd eventually have to take you off it eventually. But she said, you're the one person that's come down off it, fought it and won it.
Absolutely brilliant story, Anthony. Thank you very much. Shannon, tell us, what do you do to look after your mental health?
I'm a bit more kind of technically and kind of more mentally approach things. So like I'll literally go, if I know that I've an assignment due and I've 3/4 of it done and my head's melted with it, I'll go and I'll think about something else, or like I'll watch a film or I'll watch a documentary on something totally different to kind of just escape for maybe an hour or two. And I find that helps me then refocus on whatever it is I have to do.
I was going to ask you, where is your happy place? Where do you go? What's tranquility for you?
Oh God, probably somewhere listening to like older music or something mentally.
My happy place, I guess, would be even like listening to the radio, to basically listen back to like shows that like of presenters that I've always been fans of, or basically watching a movie, going to the gym, or just socialising with friends.
You both mentioned taking solace in music. Tell us how important music is to you.
I think music can like be a great thing, like listen back to the decades and listen to those songs that you've always loved to listen to as a child. It kind of brings back memories of what you listened to when you were younger, and how those songs always bring happy memories to you, or they always bring back times that you remember. And I find that they're inclined to not only people think of them as just music, but I think of them as memories. I think each song resembles a memory.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's very much as Anto said, but like I think for me, music is like everything, and always has been ever since I was very, very young. Music has probably been my number one hobby. Between listening to it and I play guitar and writing songs as well, like everything I've done has been music related somehow.
So we mentioned the kind of the dark, horrible deadlines and things of being a student,
Don't say that again.
and the work that you've got to do.
No.
Are you in that zone now, or about to go into it with May coming up?
We're still in the zone. We have some big projects coming. We're finishing the documentary at the moment. We have student radio happening, which will be on the FM dial. Make sure you listen. So we will be on air, but as well as that, we have some assignments as well. Even though we're going to be doing mainly a good bit of audio work regarding the radio station and regarding the documentary, the radio drama and all is done. So I think there's still written work involved.
And maybe finally, each of you, could you give me a mental health tip that you would advise people? What would you say?
My mental health tip would basically take each day as it comes. Basically, think positive thoughts, and if you can't think positive thoughts, always think back on good memories and think of how they can reflect on who you are. Just feel positive and try make each day a more positive day rather than feeling as a negative day, because you find if you think more positive, you will become more positive and you will become successful.
Mine is talk about it. If you don't talk about it, you won't be able to share your problems with people, and they may be going through the exact same thing as you are, regardless of what age, what they're doing, be it in college or not. Just talk about it.
I did say final question, but I do have another. What's it like to have a buddy system in college, to have a best buddy?
We literally just looked at each other and smiled.
They did.
We're like brother and sister, because like we get really, really close. If we're in the classroom and all that, and there's others, like they'll always say to us, they notice what us two are always sitting beside each other, because literally we always have a laugh together. We literally talk about assignments together. We can just talk about things that are funny. Basically, everything is like a joke to us, because literally it shouldn't be. But when it comes to assignments now, we just laugh about it, and we feel like the pressure, like, yeah, this is gonna be funny. We're just gonna be up all night.
Yeah.
Where we're like, yeah, get the stimulants ready.
Or we lie on each other like we did. We did law assignment in last year, and it was just horrible trying to do it. And we done the audio work and the written work for it in the space of like 15 hours. And like we came into law and we just he put his head on the table and I just put my head on his shoulder and we both fell asleep for like 20 minutes.
We were meant to do court cases where we're meant to sit in court cases and do a report, and Shannon was literally the same court case as me. I was in the same court case as Shannon. We done literally every single assignment together. Literally, there's one time where I've been out where there was times where I had to battle things that were going on at home and my private life, and Shannon was there for me all the way. There's been times where Shannon's been dealing with things. I think
someone to take notes in class and record the lectures and things.
Now you got it. Basically, someone's there to help take notes and make sure we pass the year, because I know that she doesn't want to go out through another year without me.
Oh well, I'll have to tear myself away.
So would you give that sort of advice to somebody going into first year? Is get a friend, get a buddy, get a couple of buddies going.
Yeah,
I would have a buddy system, because you find that if you have a buddy system, there's always that one person that you can always talk to and you can always rely on in class and all, or you need to talk to someone advice.
But not to selfishly pick it, have it naturally happen. Because with me and Anto, Anthony was doing a radio station at the start of MJ6 called Walk in My Shoes. Anthony walked in wearing a nice shirt. Now I could have spoken to him about the assignment, about whims, about anything, but I didn't. I just naturally turned around and went, nice shirt. She
turned around and said to me, nice shirt, and I said, yeah, thanks. And then I had a bottle of a drink that I was drinking for there. She stole that drink from me. I still haven't got another bottle from her after that.
With thanks to Phoenix FM for the studio we've borrowed here today, we're handing back to the studios of Dublin City FM. Anthony O'Donnell, Shannon McBride, thank you very much for being so frank and honest about your student life and your mental health.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank
Brian.
you. Thanks.
There is no health without mental health. This is Mental Wealth on 103.2 Dublin City FM with Brian Green.
We had a huge reaction to last week's programme with an interview with Friends of Suicide Loss, and I did say I would air the advertisement we aired here on Dublin City FM over the Christmas period.
Friends of Suicide Loss, supporting the suicide bereaved, have 12 aspirations.
Speak about your grief. Share your thoughts about your loss.
Talk about the ones departed. Embrace the memories.
Express your beliefs. Eliminate unnecessary stress.
Find supportive, comforting people. Mourn as well as grieve.
Allow isolation a way out. Plan ahead for family gatherings.
Have a special moment with your missed loved ones. Keep contact with any support group members in your area.
Lines open all day. Phone 01 492 7576 or log on to www.fosl.ie.
Next on Mental Wealth, Pia Einecker spoke to Linda Murray, Director of the Pieta House, Dublin North.
Hello, Linda. Thanks for taking the time talking to me.
Good morning. How are you? Well, good afternoon, actually. Now it's just after 12. Yeah.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good.
Perfect. So, at first, I would like to have a look at the history of the Pieta House. So, when and why was the Pieta House founded?
So, Pieta House kind of opened its doors probably in 2006. And it was set up by a lady called Joan Freeman. She had lost her sister to suicide. And there were very, very little services or no services available at that time. So she started it with one other lady who was her therapist. She assessed the people, and then there was a reception. So literally kind of 3 people, you know. And it's just grown from there. So we have 15 centres and then 2 new ones then opening this year. So this is now 2019. So now it'll be 17 within the next few months, centres opened for Pieta all over the country, which was probably her vision at the time. She wanted a Pieta in, say, every county in Ireland so that everybody had access to it.
Yeah,
because
I mean, like, that's a lot.
It is, yeah, because 2006, for the first couple of years, they had to all come to Lucan, no matter where you lived.
It's hard for people who are far away to travel there.
And the travelling and the stress of that as well. So now, so within the next few months, there'll be actually 17. There's 2 new outreaches opening in Ennis and Sligo. So that makes 17 at the minute. So it's a lot. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great that the people have the opportunity to come there and not travel too much, because that can be also an aspect where you say, okay, I don't get the help when I have to travel that far.
Yeah, and the expense of it, they may not drive, trying to get there, so you don't need any added stress. So at least if you've got a local one, so if people ring any of the centres, we usually look at where they live and try and get them a centre nearest to where they live, so there's not that stress of travel and trying to get there and trying to attend once or twice a week depending on what they need, that kind of way. So yeah, it's great. So the vision is still going on, so Pieta is still carried, even though Joan isn't with us anymore. She's moved on. We've got everyone's still following that, so they look at different areas and they look at what's needed and where a Pieta is needed, and then they try and source premises and get the staff and that kind of, so it's good. It's really good.
Yeah. And we were always talking about day, but I wanted to ask you, who is looking for your help?
Well, it could be anybody. From any age, we've had probably people as young as 6 ringing the services, right up to, I think I had one of my clients, the oldest clients I had was 80.
Okay, so like every age?
Every age, every race, every religion. Suicide can affect anybody. So you get a diverse range of people, a lot of young people. So we cater for, under 18s and then adults, obviously, over 18s.
So you help people going through suicidal thoughts or people who think about harming themselves?
So, correct, yeah.
But what programs and services do you provide?
Okay, so our therapy is solution-focused therapy, so it's really about kind of the here and now, how a person's feeling, and then if they have suicidal thoughts, it's lifting that suicidal thought. If they're self-harming, it's bringing them to self-care. So it's very specific therapy for self-harm and suicide. Now we don't do general counselling, so it's very specific. It's tailored especially for suicidal thoughts, somebody that has had an attempt or is harming themselves. It's called solution-focused therapy. So it's very proactive. not everyone can engage in that, so we do have an assessment process for people. When they call, they can make an appointment. We do an assessment, and the assessment is really about where the best place for the person to be is. What would meet their needs at the time. And then obviously, unfortunately, we all have waiting lists at the minute, so they would go onto our waiting list, and then obviously they'd come in then for a service, and it's one-to-one therapy with the person. We also offer family support. So parents or legal guardians, say of under 18s, they can come in for family support. Or if you're an adult attending, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be your partner, they can come in for family support as well. And then obviously a couple of years ago, we then started our bereavement service. Our bereavement service is for people who have lost somebody to suicide. I think the important thing is that it's free. Yeah. Just to say that as well to everybody, it's a free service. And that's really important for us, so that there's, no added stress. It's a free service. Anybody can come in.
That's a good thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But you talked about you have a hotline and you also have appointments you can do. So is there a certain stage where you would suggest to the person to make an appointment, or is it completely up to the people?
It's really up to them now. We do have a helpline that anybody can access, and that number is 1-800-247-247. That's a free phone number from any phone, and it's available, 24 hours a day. Now, we also have a text line, which quite a lot of the young people like, and that's, you just text the word HELP, H-E-L-P, to 51444. So whilst a lot of people maybe can't talk, the texting sometimes is easier for them. So it's a good service to have there. So the helpline and the text line.
Yeah, you also have a program called Darkness into Light.
That's our fundraiser, yes.
Yeah, it is an annual walking event where people get together before dawn and walk into the sunrise, isn't it?
It's from the darkness into the light. That's how sometimes people would describe how they feel. They're in a dark place, and the reason we do that so that when the sun comes up, they're walking into the light. It's absolutely phenomenal, the Darkness into Light. It's our biggest fundraiser. It's very important to us. It's actually worldwide now.
Because I wanted to ask you, what's the initiative behind Darkness into Light? And is there a certain aim you want to achieve from this yearly event?
Well, it is, firstly, when people attend, they may have attended our services. Their family may have. It might be people that are feeling that way themselves. And I think when people go, they realise the amount of people that it affects, the support that's out there. And it's really about getting the awareness out there that there is help. It's a really good message. And I think that when a lot of people come up to me when we're at them and say, look, God, I didn't realise the amount of people, for whatever reason they're there. They could be feeling that way themselves. They could be just supporting Pieta, their family. They may have lost somebody to suicide, but the support from the public is absolutely amazing.
That they are not alone.
Not alone, and that there is help. That's the main thing, is just getting that word out there. Now, obviously, the registration line is open now online to register for the Darkness into Light. There's probably walks in most parts of Dublin, all over the country, worldwide. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a yearly event. So when is Darkness into Light this year?
So it's the 11th of May. So what happens is it's kind of like Friday night into Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. So it's the 11th. The walk usually kicks off about 4:15, so that when you start walking, it's dark, and by the time you finish the 5K, the sun is rising.
Like for how the people who got the help, that they're seeing a future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because to feel suicidal or want to die is probably the lowest point anyone will ever get, and it is a really dark place, and it is even hard for people to even lift the phone. But that one step can change everything.
That they see that there is a future.
Yeah.
And that they're not dealing alone with it.
No, exactly. And I suppose, there is a lot of services out there for people, different type of services, but see, sometimes people aren't aware of them, and when you're not in a good place, it's really hard to even think about Googling something or asking for help. So even when they make that first step, they feel a lot better after the phone call. They come in and have the assessment, and things start changing. It's amazing to see that.
Yeah. So it leads to the next question. So why do you think is it so important that organizations like the Pieta House exist?
Well, I suppose for many years you see suicide and self-harm would be a fairly taboo subject. Now it's more out there. People are aware of it. It's not something you have to hide. You can ask for help. There is support out there. So I suppose that's the importance of it, is getting that awareness out there that there is help for people. Because you don't really see that when you're in that place, you know. So the more centres we open, the better for us, the better for the people. And whilst it's shocking, you know, the amount of people that come into the service, on the other hand, it's great that they're actually accessing a service for help. Whereas before, there wasn't services out there to help people.
I also noticed in the past there was often silence about the topic.
Absolutely.
Depression, suicide, and also getting help for it, but also admitting that they have thoughts like this.
Yeah,
so
it's very difficult.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, do you think that society has improved on that and more people are willing to open up about it?
Yes, I think they definitely have. And the only reason we'd know that is because of the amount of clients that we have through our service, but there still needs to be more awareness out there.
And has the waiting lists got longer for the people who want to make appointments?
Yeah, I mean, we most of us would have waiting lists. We try and help us. We try and get people in as quick as we can. It is short-term work, so it's not long-term. The maximum we offer is basically 12 sessions, and then about session 6 we kind of do a review, see how the person is, if the suicide is lifted, if the self-harm has kind of stopped, they've got better tools rather than hurting themselves. We would kind of move them on to another service if they need it. So it's trying to get as many people in as we can and get them through the doors, you know. But unfortunately, because of the amount of people, there will always be waiting lists, but that's probably most services. If you ask anybody, they'll probably all tell you the same thing. But as soon as someone comes in, depending on their risk, we try and get them in as soon as we can. So we do the best. We also do check-in calls with people each week to check in and see how they are. And if they're not doing too good, we have appointments. They're called holdovers. So we just bring them in for a little check-in with the therapist, one of the therapists, you know, how they're looking after themselves, what their support system is like, until we can get them in for actual treatment, you know.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good thing, because then you can make sure that after they're leaving your services, they aren't left alone again.
That's right. That's right.
You check on them afterwards. That's great. So if people want to have more information about the Pieta House and about the services and how they can contact you, where can we find information?
So it's pieta.ie on the website. All the centres will be listed on there, their phone numbers. Also, if they're interested in doing the Doctors into Light or registering for any of them, that's also there. You can just Google, say, Darkness into Light. That would also come up under the Pieta website too, though. Okay, perfect. So thanks for taking the time talking to me. And I wish you good luck with that in the future. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on. We appreciate that. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
That's all we've time for on this week's Mental Wealth. Thanks to our production team of Margaret McHugh, Joe McBride and Pia Einiger. We're back next Tuesday at the same time, 12:30. Until then, have a great week, take care and stay safe. Bye bye.